Welcome back to the Keeping It Real with KC podcast. I, of course, am your host, KC Phoenix. There's a truck outside, so that's what you hear in the background. I woke up this morning at, I want to say 7 something or whatever, but I'm still, and it's like 8:48 right now as I'm recording this, Central Daylight Time. And when I tell you, I'm just kind of like getting my thoughts together. So, you know how that goes. The reason I'm doing this daily thought is because there was something that I had seen on the internet about this woman and this man. They were getting married. She posted something on social media. I think it was Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. So she posted that on social media, and people were pretty much critiquing what she was saying. It was something to the effect of like she's considered a virgin again and all of this other stuff. And then they went into everything else on like how she was holding her husband in the picture, to how her new husband didn't necessarily have experience with a bunch of other women. He had never been married before, but I think she had possibly been married once or twice or whatever. It was just a lot of stuff that people were commenting on in regards to this relationship. And I was thinking about it, and now especially with the thing with Ebony K. Williams, which I just think people blew that out of proportion. I think she messed it up on her response, where it just should have been left at, okay, I said what I said. If she doesn't want to date a bus driver, that's her right as a person. Also, they're doing maintenance outside today too. Thank you, Mercury retrograde. You are so awesome. But I digress. For those who didn't know, that was sarcasm. It's more of a thing where let people find their happiness where they can. And that's the thing. Like with Ebony K. Williams, what she was saying was she wants someone who pretty much is doing things at the level she's doing it at. It doesn't mean that a bus driver's job is any less than another job. That isn't what she was saying. She was just saying she wanted someone doing something on the same level in the sense of income wise. Because yeah, bus drivers actually make pretty good money. I think, hold on, you know what? I have access to the internet, let's just go ahead and look it up right now. Let's go to YouTube. Not YouTube, Google. All right. Average pay bus driver. I want to say they make 60 a year or something like that. Could be wrong. Let's see. Okay, now why are you giving me the hourly? I have to run the numbers now. Okay, now that's better. Interesting. I thought they made around 60. Okay, so it's saying the average bus driver's salary is between $35,905 and $48,994. And it's saying the average is $42,175, which still isn't that bad at all. My thing is, someone can live off of that, because I think it averages out to what, $20 an hour or whatever. I'm doing this off the top of my head here, so you just bear with me. But still, it's not minimum wage, and also usually bus driver jobs come with benefits. That's the thing. Now, Ayana, who was talking to Ebony, she was saying that, hey, I date a bus driver. She's like, I have a prenup, but I date a bus driver. Ayana's needs are different from Ebony's needs. And that's the whole thing. That's going back into my daily thought. Let people find happiness wherever they can. For Ebony, she wouldn't find happiness with a bus driver due to her looking for someone who is like an entrepreneur, someone who is definitely a go-getter, someone who sort of matches her vibe, mostly salary-wise. Because honestly, I think it's about the income. I really, really do. And it isn't a thing of her having someone to take care of her. She's more or less looking for someone that she doesn't have to take care of. Also, the thing is, and this is like, you see this in movies and stuff, and also in real life too, where if someone dates another person who makes significantly more money, then when it comes to doing things together, even if someone wants to pay their fair share in the relationship, like they want to make sure they're contributing, if one person who has more money, they're used to doing more expensive things, the other person may want to contribute, but they may not have the money to contribute because they're not in the same income bracket. That in itself could possibly create issues unless the other person who has, more money, they're fine with, oh no, I don't mind paying for it or whatever. But I believe for Ebony K. Williams, and I can't really speak for her, I'm just, speculating on where her energy is at with this. I believe that she doesn't want to take care of someone, and she wants someone who can indulge in the same things that she indulges in. So if they decide that they want to do something expensive, like let's say $5,000, let's say they want to do something that costs $5,000, which may not be a lot of money to her, but it may be a lot of money to someone who only makes $40,000 a year. And that person more than likely wouldn't be able to contribute like she could contribute when it comes to things like that. That's where I believe she was coming from. At the same time, there's nothing wrong with her having a preference to say, no, I want to date an entrepreneur, or no, I would rather date someone who's making, like $200,000 a year or $300,000 a year. And doing that because that's sort of the bracket that she's in. Totally understandable. I remember when I was in middle school, and I was bringing up celebrities. We were talking about celebrities because when you're in middle school, all the kids talk about celebrities and stuff. And I was like, why don't celebrities just date regular people? Why do they always have to date other celebrities? And then my friend Laverne, she was like, because they are afraid they might be taken advantage of if they're dating someone who doesn't make what they make or do what they do, who isn't at the same bracket. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. So yeah, it's not bad. But going to that, if that is where a celebrity feels they find their happiness with someone who is in the industry or makes a certain amount of money, fine. There are celebrities that date quote unquote regular people. And I don't necessarily like to use that because it can have a negative connotation to it. But that's the best way to describe it for right now. And I just believe everyone has a right to want what they want. I always tell people, as long as you're not hurting anybody, it's all good. And if somebody doesn't want to date a bus driver, that's fine. If someone, and I can promise you, and this is so true, because all these people that get bent out of shape, just like with dating, with me, there are people who have found me very attractive, and there are people who have not found me attractive at all. Some people even thought that I was ugly, and that's fine, because I know there's still people that find me very attractive. So it's sort of like that with the happiness. If someone has a preference, if one person doesn't like it, I promise you there is another person out there who will. So if there's one person that doesn't want to date a bus driver, I promise you there is like 3 to 5 people that do want to date a bus driver for that one person. So, and that's what people have to keep in mind. People always get hung up on that rejection from one party. It's almost like, I remember my god sister, who I don't really talk to like that anymore, but she's a model, or was a model. And I remember she was getting rejected constantly. And that's what it is, especially in like modeling, anything in entertainment and stuff, is usually a bunch of rejection. She was getting rejected constantly. And then finally that one agency was like, hey, we want to sign you. And then she got signed. She ended up doing fashion shows and magazines and stuff like that. And it's sort of the same thing when it comes to dating or either life in general. There may be something that there's a rejection in, but there may be something else where someone wants you, whether it's your talent, where you might be a singer. There are people who, I was watching something just yesterday where Berry Gordy, Motown guy, wasn't a big fan of Stevie Wonder because he didn't even think Stevie Wonder could sing. It was kind of tongue in cheek, But yeah, and there are things like that. There's people who think Cher can't sing. But there's a lot of people who think Cher can sing. And that's what I'm talking about. It's all about what a preference is and what people want. And when those two meet, where someone has a preference and you meet what they want, it comes together. And then happiness is found, whether it's temporary or whether it's for a long term, happiness is found. And I say, let people find happiness where they can. Be happy for people who find happiness. If Ebony K. Williams ends up finding, I don't know, some man that owns a big company and does this and does that, whatever, that's where she's finding her happiness at. And let her find her happiness there. Don't hold it against this woman that she feels she can't find her happiness with a bus driver. And it's the same thing with that man and that woman that had posted the picture of the wedding on Instagram, which I'm pretty sure was Instagram, where people were just critiquing. It's like, okay, this man, he may not be that experienced, and this woman, whatever you want to think about her, but this man found happiness in this woman. That is the woman that he found. And mind you, all of these other men were saying, no, that's not a woman I would want. Well, guess what? What you want doesn't have anything to do with them, because his say-so is the only one that counts. He's the one that wanted her and that wants her. That's why he married her. And she chose him. I'm sure she was dating other people, or she had the option to date other people, but she chose him. They found their happiness together. And there may have been certain things that both of them were looking for in a relationship. It came together. And I'm sure they may have went through other situations with dating people and stuff that didn't work out. But this situation did, and they found their happiness. Just like I'm sure Ebony K. Williams, who was a beautiful woman and successful, intelligent, so on and so forth, I'm sure she will find her happiness somewhere. And when she does, let her find her happiness where she can. And that's the thing for everyone. Let people find their happiness where they can. Just because you can't find the logic in where they're finding their happiness doesn't mean that they're wrong for where they're finding it. Everyone has their own life to live. Everyone has their own path to walk. So yeah, let people find their happiness where they can. And that is my daily thought. KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. Until next time, be blessed.